Okay, we are live here. Yeah, we are live. So this is gonna be fun. Fun little experiment came up with here. Let's see. I don't actually know if anybody's gonna show up, but let's see what happens. Yeah, I just wanted to run this quick experiment. Trying to look at my new webcam here, so I can actually talk to people again. Um, where have I been? Well, my computer has kind of been on the out, so I've been needing to get another one. Um, uh, so I'm thinking about just ordering a brand new computer, just kind of piecing one together. Hello, Axel. How are you? I don't actually know how this is gonna go. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, I know I've been gone for months. It's good, Axel. I'm also good. I'm just happy to be back doing channel stuff again. Uh, Hopefully, the webcam serves a dual purpose. Actually, help me with streaming content. Oh, thank you, Axel. I appreciate that. I worked semi hard on those Megaforce reviews. Things have gotten progressively more difficult as time went on, and I just get all these new ideas, working on different ones. Um, are you a fan of Megaforce? I guess that's my question. Um, but yeah, no, I'm hoping to like either. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Not a whole lot of people are fans of Megaforce Axel, so you're good. I gotta admit, I'm still scared to rewatch that show. I have it on DVD, and I have just not actually taken the time to rewatch it to see just if a lot of the stuff sticks with me. I did rewatch the first episode a couple months ago when my internet went out. And that, you know what, that first episode's not bad. Yes, it's Day of the Dumpster, but it's not bad. I think a lot of the I think a lot of the ideas that they put forth in that could have been expanded upon if Saban was at all interested in doing that. And yeah, I don't know if the Robo Knight thing is as weird on rewatch. I'll have to give that one a shot again, I guess. I really like I really like Robo Knight. How was my voice coming through, by the way? Still good? um I'm still working on the Beast Morphers reviews. I'm hoping to have the next one finished in the next couple of days or so. And we're just gonna keep trucking along. I really want to talk about uh I don't even remember what it's called. The the anniversary special. I really want to just break that down and see how that one goes. I figure this webcam situation would also be good, better for reaction vids. I can watch. Uh, what are we on? Dino Fury. See how those are. I still like Robo Knight. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. Not a whole lot of people are here. It's okay. Still like to talk to people. Um, but yeah, no, that's what it is. Grid connection. Yeah, I really wanted to just talk about that episode. I've seen it. I have a lot of thoughts on it. I haven't rewatched it in a little bit, so maybe my thoughts will change on rewatch. I don't know. And yeah, we did lose Jason David Frank. That's so very unfortunate. I know. Uh, I've met him a couple times because I think he was in. He was like at a few of the cons I went to was at the Dallas Fan Expo back in, I think, 2016. That's where I first met him, and I was just kind of starstruck in that moment, just being like total panic. Next time I met him, I believe it was at. I know it was Power Morphicon, but I can't remember if it was the 2018 or the Express that they did that was in Houston that I really enjoyed going to. Because I know that he put that together because he lives in that area, so it's not too bad for him to get there. Yeah, but huge loss, huge loss. I was amazed at how many people were just affected by his passing. It's something that we don't think about, that it's like he just was a part of so many people's childhoods, and of course he knew to an extent what that was, but the fact that so many people were talking about it over the last few months, it just blows my mind. Like Simu Liu, who played Shang-Chi for the MCU, he was talking about how he was inspired to become a martial artist because of Jason David Frank. Like, that's insane to me. I can't believe that. And yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm not sure how long I'm going to have this go. Uh, Camera looks great, though. I think my audio's coming in today, too. I'm going to have to check that when I get out of here. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah, sure. You can ask questions. I don't mind. You're the only one here. I actually don't know how many people are watching. Oh, yeah, no, there's a counter. Sorry, this is the first time I've done a live stream that's like not been on my phone. Because, God, trying to do a live stream on my phone was just a nightmare. We try to do different things for those reaction videos, and then all of a sudden people would call me in the middle of it and just ruin the whole thing. So, first question of the day: favorite Red Ranger? There's a lot of really good ones, right? You know what's funny? Because of YouTube, I have been constantly going back to Power Rangers Jungle Fury, and I really do think that the character arc for the Red Ranger Casey in that show is just top tier. Like, I don't think the show has really gotten better after that point. I mean, yes, we did have Scott immediately after, but he was mostly not involved in the story of RPM. That was more, related to Dylan, the Black Ranger, and his sister, and all that stuff. And you know what, man? I didn't. Out of the new guys, like, I like Tyler Navarro. I think he's cool. Um, and I think Brendan Mahee is great in that role. I just wish there was a little bit tweaking done here and there. They kind of muddled the end of his story with the way they handle his father. Spoilers, as if people haven't watched my videos. But yeah, that's what I would have to go with. I do like Devin Daniels. Guy does not have Red Ranger lines, man. And it's so unfortunate because he's a really good actor, and his performance is just entertaining to watch. It's not like some of the worst ones in the Neo Saban era. It's not like Troy, or it's not like Brody, where you're just kind of wading through awkward line reads, dialogue. But Devin Daniels, like, he was cool. He was a gamer, and that was fun. The costume thing was really fun, but the guy, yeah, I don't know. You would think that he would have some really good Red Ranger lines, and that's the thing about Casey in Jungle Fury. That guy had all kinds of Red Ranger lines, even the bad ones. He knocked them right out of the park. The punny ones, there's a way you can deliver lines like that, and it's really cool. Axel, who is your favorite Red Ranger? Since we're on the topic, let's see what other Red Rangers do I like. I mean, of course, you got to go with Andros because I think he had the most to do as a Red Ranger up until that point. Leo's a good one. Leo's a good one. Leo's a very good one. You know what's funny? I also rewatched like a good chunk of Lost Galaxy recently. That show is surprisingly underrated. Nobody talks about how good that show is, but it's surprisingly really well done. Just a lot of the Power Rangers really kind of coming into its own and spending its own money and working on these grand ideas. And the funny thing is that Leo, yeah, of course, goes through the whole character arc with Mike and, whether or not he's worthy of being a Red Ranger. Sure, it doesn't last that long, but still an entertaining character to watch. Um, he plays off Trakino really well, especially when she tries to kill him at point blank range. Again, spoiler for that one. Least favorite Ranger. See, now this is an interesting question. What would be your criteria for least favorite? Is it the one that you just hate looking at, or would it be the one that they that the show did the least with? I guess that would be most underused instead of like the least your least favorite Ranger. Let's see. I got to think about that one. Who's my least favorites? You know what, man? Let's see. Who did I not like? Because see, Sam's a good one. Sam's not. The problem with Sam, the Omega Ranger, he's not a character. Is the issue, and that's a huge missed opportunity. I don't know why they did that. They clearly cast a voice, but they didn't cast an actor. It's so weird. Like, why would you set this guy up? Like, his story going into it was really cool, but like when he actually is just a ball of light and you don't see him until like the show is over, it really, yeah, I'll agree with that. He it makes it hard to appreciate him as a character because he's not a character. He's basically just a prop. We have Sentai footage. So Omega Ranger. Let's see, because I have a lot of favorites. I mean, going back to Jungle Fury, Dominic is one of my least favorite. I just don't think that his story arc is particularly handled well. He's not a likable character, even though I think that and the actor is really good. He was in Daredevil. That was amazing. His performance in there was great. At least the other heated characters like Dex and Troy, they at least had a personality. That's a good point. I liked Troy. I just didn't think the performance was that good. Um, and I feel like that may have handicapped the writing, that they didn't really know how to write him because he didn't have the ability to actually pull off lines of dialogues. Dax is really close as being a least favorite for me. I almost said him because I think Overdrive just has a lot of bad characters. There's way too many characters, and like all of the Rangers are my least favorite people to watch on that show, outside of Norg. Shoot. Um, but I don't know. Dax is more annoying than he is endearing, and I get that they were trying to go for the endearing. Uh, I don't know. Would you put Ronnie on there because she didn't do anything in the show, and then they tried to do a romance angle with her at the end? It's just kind of weird. That's a good one, actually. Gia from Megaforce. God, that was a waste of time. I can't believe she's really good, and I thought that Sierra Hanna was doing a really good job with that role, or at least the stuff she did later. It shows that she really does enjoy doing this. They just didn't have anything written for her, and that's so weird because you would think that they'd have something, right? But no, it just never happened. She's just got the thing with Jake. She is the prize to be won for Jake. They put like less than zero effort into building that relationship, and it's really bad. It's really bad. Another one that isn't used particularly well, and I hate saying this because I've met the actor Lucas from Time Force, probably the most underused of that whole cast. And you know what? He might not be as talented as everybody else. That might be the reason why. Because his delivery is not as doesn't feel as organic as everybody else's, and that includes Nadira and the villain. I can't remember his name now. I'm sure you'll tell me. Oh yeah, Spencer. Took me a while. I remember. I remember Spencer. Spencer was fun. He was entertaining to watch. A lot of there you go, Rancic. Thank you. I really do love Time Force. But I do think that Lucas is kind of like the background ranger, as my brother says, just somebody to stand there and kind of fill the suit role. We don't do a whole lot with him, which is fine because the stuff that we do in Time Ninja, I understand why some of that couldn't have been translated to Power Rangers. But yeah, no. So those are a couple of my least favorites. I don't know. It is one of the greatest mysteries of my life. Well, I wouldn't say mysteries. It's one of the like absolute worst. Uh, just cop out endings for a Power Ranger show because it doesn't make any sense. And again, talking about Gia, like they put like with Gia, they put like zero effort into explaining how Robo Knight came back. I mean, I think that if you're gonna start the show with a flashback that has all six of those Rangers running at an army, then you have to build how that's going to look, especially if you're going to kill one of your characters. I'm not against Ranger deaths in this show, especially if they come back. And I'll talk about that much later. But I think that you just you just have to just give us some explanation. You can't put that much into a character that you put so much because he's got a whole two-parter based on, yeah, and I admit I know that's all Sentai footage and whatever, but you made people care about this character. He's one of the only people in Megaforce to get a character arc. I think the only other one is Noah, and even then, like that's a character arc that I just kind of pieced together myself. It's not anything the show explicitly stated. But you can't like get the audience to care about this character, kill him, and then just bring him back like nothing happens. Yeah, I have heard that theory that they're just Ranger Key manifestations. I don't know. I mean, it kind of sucks the fun out of it uh, if it is the Ranger Keys because we did bring actors back, and that is like one of the best sequences. And I know this is in the extended cut, and maybe not a lot of people have seen that. I know it's on Netflix, but it does have like one of the best moments probably in that entire thing is when Karone puts on her helmet or yeah takes her helmet and says, "I love being a Power Ranger," and you don't have that moment if she's just a key. So I don't know. The problem is that all that stuff is tacked on at the end. The whole Ranger, like they could have made this more organic instead of just having everybody show up. And again, going back to we did in the extended cut where we defeat the villain, and then there's just stragglers of X-Borgs. I mean, the light thing, it's teleportation in Power Rangers. You can explain that. I mean, not all of them have to be color coded. Granted, I have a theory about that, but still. Um, but I mean, it's definitely the easier answer if they're um, manifestations of the Morphin Grid, or sorry, of the Ranger Keys. But two things: one, how did they get sent out there? Does Gosei just have that much power? Or two, uh, where are the Squadron Rangers? Because we know that they exist. Like, if you're gonna say that it was the Keys, then let's just see everybody. Who cares at that point? Like, we know that there are Rangers on other planets. Gosei said that. That's where Squadron came from. So just show them. Like, who cares? But we made it explicitly. These are all former Rangers. So, it's a muddy situation. Thoughts on the In Space and Ninja Turtles crossover? It's a fun episode, or sorry, fun episodes, but it is definitely the worst episodes of that show. Which is weird because it is, of course, like a kind of backdoor pilot into the. And it's funny because I watched a review of uh, of the next mutation, and the guy said that the crossover was the best of that show. So it's really funny to me that yes, it was Fearless. Um, so it's really funny to me that the best of Ninja Turtles Next Mutation is the worst of Power Rangers in Space. Not that it's bad. It's just compared to everything else we were doing, it's just not. It's a good fan crossover. It's just not because the problem is that Power Rangers as a rule, and we've been doing this a lot more recently than we have been because I think we did Masked Rider and all that stuff. Uh, Power Rangers, when they don't cross over, when they try to cross over with other things that aren't Power Rangers, it tends to get really awkward, and I don't know why. Because yes, we did do the backdoor pilot thing with the Masked Rider. That was cool, you know. Or as Saber Spark says, the Masked Ride. I wonder if anyone gave him shit about that. But They're just really awkward. The Captain Chaku thing was weird. Um, what was the other one? The ninja guy that showed up in Ninja Steel. Uh, I can't remember his name. That was also really awkward. That show made the most unlikable version of the Ninja Turtles. That might be true. Actually, I've not seen Rise of the TMNT, but that might be true. Sheriff Skyfire, thank you. Yeah, all this stuff, man. It's so weird because I don't know why. I don't know why. I understand like Japan is gonna be like bringing these guys in because nostalgia sells, but it's just weird to have them all come up in the span of a couple years. Like if you're gonna do it, just spread them out. And yes, you could say that the Sixth Rangers are that they're just other people, like how we did with Orion and Megaforce. Make him just have him find a morpher on a separate planet. It has the same design with the other super mega suits, and then just never explain that. But I think it's weird. Like, and I know that they're crossing over in the comics a lot. I keep seeing that stuff. I haven't gotten to Go Kiger yet. I'm still trucking my way through Sentai. The last one I saw was Gao Ranger. Gao Ranger was really weird. It started out super fun and like a weird comic book, just really fun, kid friendly action. And then it just got really dumb somehow. Like the second half of that show, like if you hate some of the stuff that's done at the end of Wild Force, a lot of that stuff carries over from Gao Ranger. So it's just weird. It's really weird because like it does the Ninja Steel thing where I thought we were doing like a story and then they just forget about it. Worst mentor. Ugh. Hmm. I think the worst one, Mentor G, wins by a landslide just because of how pathetic a lot of that stuff has been. I have been watching Ninjago. I bit the bullet and I actually finished Masters of Spinzitzu because it's just on Netflix. A lot of thoughts about that show. It's weird because the character design change, I figured there was going to be some kind of explanation. The first episode of season 8 pretty much like has a perfect setup for, oh, they messed with time travel, that's why they look different. Problem with that though is that we have flashbacks with the other characters, and or we have flashbacks with our main cast, and the flashbacks look like them, the old design, and no other character in the show looks different. So I have no idea why. And that's to say nothing about like how they messed with the ninjas' ages and what that whole thing turned into. But yeah, no, I have thoughts. I have thoughts about that show. Spoiler thoughts. Um, just the short non-spoiler version. I thought season 8 and 9 were really good. They were much better than I was expecting. Season 10 is too short, and I was so disappointed by the finale. And I'll just leave it at that before going into any kind of detail. And then, of course, I watched a couple of episodes of season 11, which is like the new show, and that was weird. I think it was a mistake. Yes, yes, that is true. Season 10 is good but rushed. Yes. That is one of my complaints with it, is that it's only 4 episodes. How much can you get done in 4 episodes? Especially when you're talking about Ninjago, a show that usually takes its time with the amount of time that it has. With the 10 episodes, we usually run a pretty good pace. Yes, some stuff doesn't matter sometimes, but it's not as awkward. Not to mention the whole thing with Lloyd and geez, it reminded me of the end of that show. Reminded me of the end of Dragon Ball GT. If anyone has seen that, where it doesn't make any sense, and you're just kind of confused, and then it's just over. Yeah, I mean it. Okay, so full spoilers for Ninjago. Uh, yes, I agree. But again, hindsight is 2020. They were not. They did not know that that Kirby Morrow wasn't long for this world. So, but I still think that the fake out was weird. They definitely treated it with as much gravitas as they treated every other character death on this show. I do think that because the show was so rushed, we didn't really have a chance to sit on it and simmer. Like almost immediately, they go right into that fog, and you see he's okay. Um, I do think though, like if they had killed him, they would it would be in a pretty good spot. Like yes, we didn't really do much with Cole as a character, and that's kind of on us. But still, in all of Power Rangers history, the Magna Defender was the only Ranger to die and stay dead. That's a good point. But he, and keep in mind, I have no idea how this works. Um, he is not a Power Ranger, and uh, but he does have a morph sequence, or at least Mike does. So I have no idea if the Magna Defender, along with Sheriff Skyfire and Captain Chaku and all those guys, if they are connected to the Morphin Grid, you can throw a Mass Rider in there. So do they adhere to the Ranger rules? Because one thing that I've been thinking about, and this is kind of getting a little spoilery, but I'm gonna keep going anyway, um, is why all of these characters that die magically get brought back to life. And I'm not sure how to explain the Robot Knight thing. This might be a good explanation. I'm not sure. You can let me know after I finish talking. But uh, Zordon says in the first episode, Day of the Dumpster, you've got 3 rules to follow, or you lose the protection of the power. Now, the only characters that die in this show and get brought back to life are characters that follow those rules. Except for Alex, but we can chalk his resurrection up to time travel shenanigans. I think it's weird, because people don't know, or at least they don't react that way in Megaforce. People don't know that Robo Knight is a member of the Ranger crew or a sentient Zord. They just think he's a robot guy walking around, brooding on rooftops and whatever. So I think that's what Zordon meant when he said you must follow 3 rules or lose the protection of the power. 1, always wait, hold on. What was the never use your power for personal gain? 2, Never escalate a battle unless the enemy forces you to. And 3, uh, no one must know you're a Power Ranger. And every other season, with the exception of a couple, follow these rules. Except for the identity one. The identity one is the weird one. And we know that Sky's father in SPD was killed in action. So, and that's a season that where people knew that those guys were Power Rangers. It was a law force at that stage. Yeah, no, and Robo Knight's good, and so Steel actually might be better than Robo Knight, just in terms of the performance. I really like. Let's see, I missed one here. After seeing all of Ninjago season 11 through season 15, I can say in full confidence that the show definitely should have just ended at season 10. I agree with that statement, but it's mostly because going from 22 minutes to 11 minutes really, really messes up with the pacing. Like I said, when the show actually takes its time, it can pace out like really well done 22-minute episodes in a 10 episode season. It does really great at that. We'll even say 8 episodes for season 3. But for season 11 through 15, they shortened them down. They like cut them in half. Every episode is 11 minutes, and there's also a lot more of them, which you'd think wouldn't be a problem. You just kind of double up on the episodes and we just accomplish the same thing. But instead, what they do is they have some episodes just hyper focus on this one thing, a thing that in the original show would only take like a scene or two or just be a quick gag and just move on. But we spend 11 minutes in this one location and it really drags things down, especially when we get to the villain sequence or the villain attacking the city in season 11, and the entire episode is devoted to just doing news coverage of the situation. Like, why are we doing this? This has nothing to do with the plot. I get it's a fun and inventive idea, sure, but it has nothing to do with anything. So that's my mini rant on that. Best super mode in Power Rangers. Oh, hmm. Super. Are we including battleizers in that, or does it have to be team super ups, team power ups? Is that true? Do they reuse things in season 11 and season 15 uh, from the last 10 seasons of Ninjago? Because I I keep wondering if I should just watch the rest of the show. I've been thinking about it, or at the very least, maybe I should watch what is it, Kaiju Protocol, which I've heard people talk about on Twitter. I don't know if it's like the anime episode, but I also don't know which one that is. So, um, let's see. Best. Hmm. You know what, man? I really liked SWAT mode in SPD. That was really cool. I just thought that they put them all in tactical gear and it all lights up. It just looks really awesome. They have guns, these huge blaster guns. It's just cool. It's just fun to look at. All right. Oh, look at that. It's been 40 minutes. Haha! This is fun. I like doing this. Might do this more now that I have a webcam. Just do a Saturday night Q&A. Yes. I would say so. I think that Megaforce is underrated. Yes, I know a lot of people had huge expectations for that show. And yes, it does misuse a lot of its characterization. But I think as a season, because I think a lot of that stuff is mostly just issues with Super Megaforce and how they adapt to the Gokaiger footage. But I think as a season, Megaforce is pretty okay. You can do a lot with a really strong premiere episode and a really strong finale. And yes, it's only like 20 episodes in between, but I did enjoy most of that. The problem with Overdrive is I just don't like those characters. I don't like most characters in that show. Uh, like you've got the main Rangers who I don't know. Some of the Disney shows, and this is also like an issue that Mystic Force had, where they just had a lot of people, and all of the side characters were more entertaining than the main Rangers. Um, with the except, but of course, it does it worse in Overdrive because I don't like Norg, I don't like Furious. I think Camdor is just boring, and like you got the Fear Cats. Those guys are cool, and their whole background with Tyzon is really fun. But like, I don't know, the rest of it is really weird. And I just didn't connect. I'm sorry. I couldn't stop thinking about like when they do the plot point with Mac, where he's been a robot this whole time. I don't know. I kept looking at it and being like, this was done way better in Ninjago because in the first season, in the seventh episode, they literally do just the robot character powers up, and you can do that. You can write stuff like that, but they don't do it, and on top of the whole like Pinocchio thing that happens at the end, really wrong way. It was very Disney. I didn't like it. I just hated it. It was just really bad. So yeah, I think for me personally, I think that Overdrive is worse. I know that a lot of people are talking to me about that, especially on Twitter. I do an argument with somebody over which one is worse because I really do think that Megaforce, at least aesthetically, and a lot of the stuff that they do is really fun. But of course, Saban had to handicap itself by not allowing serialized storytelling. So let's see. Thoughts on Cole? Red Wild Force Ranger. He's okay. He's okay. Uh, Not my favorite. Um, he mostly just is wild man and would talk to animals. He didn't do anything like really cool. He's got a tragic backstory, which is fine. But the rest of it, I don't know. It, a lot of Wild Force doesn't really particularly grab me as being like a superior show. I do love Zenaku and everything they do with the Lunar Wolf. Like that stuff was really awesome. But everything else, no. And not to say that it's bad. It's just kind of there. It's very mid tier is Wild Force. And that extends to the Red Ranger. I just don't like him as a character. In season 11, the ninja accidentally released a snake who tries to get revenge on Wu. In season 12, the ninja get picked off one by one before only Jay remains. Oh, okay. Season 13, the ninja have to deal with enemies that come back right after they are defeated. Season 14 is literally just season 1, but ocean themed. Ah. And season 15 is just the Overlord again. Hilarious. That's really funny. I heard a lot of people getting really upset that the Overlord was coming back. Because I'm still plugged in. I just try to avoid spoilers. Um, so it's just really funny to me. I had seen a thing that was saying that like people don't like the new season because it's just ripping off Star Wars, which just made me laugh because Ninjago just has Star Wars baked into its DNA. Wu literally says in the first season, "I sense a disturbance in the Force." Thoughts on the Alien Rangers? They are cool. I wish more was done with them. Um, one cool theory my brother had, and I have no idea if they're gonna do this because we have the 30-year anniversary special coming up, which since this is a success, I might actually react to because it doesn't require me to have seen all of Dino Fury. I say that now. I could be wrong. I don't know. But my brother had a theory that wouldn't it be cool if Billy Cranston returned as the leader of the Alien Rangers? Because the last time we saw him, he was on Equitar. So, like, wouldn't he just become a ranger? Like, isn't that the next logical step? Wouldn't that be awesome? So, I think that that would be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do it. I know that from that sneak peek that we saw for the 30-year anniversary, that uh, they're going to be using the MMPR suits. But I do, but like just in a fan sort of way, like it would be really cool if he just spent the last 20 years on this ocean planet. Come to think of it, what was he involved in any way with the evil empire takeover that happened in space? Like that would be really cool. See, see that answers my question. If he was the Phantom Ranger, that would be really awesome. And finally give us closure on that little nugget because we never found out who that guy was. Here's my thoughts on all of the new season in Ninjago. Season 11 is bad. Season 12 is mediocre. Season 13 is decent. Season 14 is amazing. Season 15 is horrible. And I mean horrible. Is it the worst? Because I'll agree. From the first 15 episodes that I've seen of season 11, it's not great. Like I said, the shortening of the episodes really, really, really messes with the pacing. The characters are completely taken back to square one in the first episode. I have no idea why that happened. So it's just weird to me. Like, why? Why? What do you think happened to Ninjor? I mean, didn't we see him? Like, wasn't he involved in the whole thing, fighting off the evil alien forces during the hostile takeover of Dark Spectre and in space? Is that the last time we saw him? He may, I haven't read the comics. They may explain it this way. I have no idea. He may be involved in creating the Ninja Nexus Prism. Like, wouldn't that be crazy? They won't do it because I hate Ninja Steel. But that would be crazy if they did. Honestly, Ninjago should have ended on season 14. It would have been an amazing ending. I think that Hunted, the end of that season is fantastic. The the way that they just like paralleled the journey or the like we actually get the fight, like a full-on fight between Garmadon and Lloyd, and how it's Lloyd's self-doubt that's feeding Garmadon's powers. Like that stuff is great. It almost makes it worth the show not ending after season 7. Actually, season 8 would have been a well. Actually, when we ended on a cliffhanger, so you don't want to do that. In the comics, his Heckle becomes a ranger. I have heard about that. Did they actually make him one? I don't read the comics. I'm not sure how involved they are in the actual show. I just kind of go by stuff that's mentioned in canon. Um, I feel like if you're gonna go into all of that other stuff with the Omega Rangers and whatnot, it gets really really complicated. Season 15 is easily the worst season of the show. Reused plot points, character assassinations. Character assassinations, you say? Who? I'm curious. I'm a little scared. Maybe I should have asked that question because I really like these people. Obviously, I am curious how they managed the whole recast of Cole because I know we ran into a similar situation with uh, Troll Hunters where they had to replace their star Anton Yelchin, which is weird because it is still a Hageman Brother production like Ninjago is. And they kind of had this like mist spray into his mouth. That's how they explain that his voice sounds a little different. I wonder if they do something like that in Ninjago. Worst PR villains. Well, I've already mentioned Furious. I just think that he's really like the design isn't appealing or scary. He doesn't do anything in the show until the end, and he's our final boss. That really annoys me. Um, let's see who's worse than that. Of course, you got Xandrid, Malcor. Uh, yay. I thought Fakar was okay. If they had done more with the brother thing, it would have been like great. But I think the stuff they do is okay. It works well enough. Um, let's see who else is really bad in this show. Oh, of course you got Diva Talks. Yeah, no, I can't even say that. I was like, you know what? Watching that movie, no, the whole thing is bad. it, and I agree. She's just doing what they're asking her to do, and that's fine. Some of that stuff is okay. The pizza, whatever, doing the whole. She gets amnesia and running a pizza shop. Like that stuff is fine. It's everything else that doesn't really work for me. Who else is really bad? Uh, oh man, until we get that twist, man, Evox is pretty dumb. Like for a good majority of the show. Uh, Girl from Lightspeed, Vampira. That's right. Uh, yeah, I'll give you that one. She was pretty bland. Cole's recast was actually done pretty well. There's some points where it's very obvious it's a different voice actor, but for the most part, it's pretty seamless. That's good. I was really concerned because they're using the same guy who voiced Morrow, and I was worried that it was just going to sound like Morrow. Like if he's going to be part of the team, like I didn't want it to be this way. So it's good that it's not too distracting. Thoughts on Decker? Decker's cool. Again, a character that we don't do nearly enough with. But like his actions are what drive the plot for like the first half of Samurai. It's your favorite Ninjago season. Mine is Skybound or Sons of Garmadon. It kind of changes on my mood. You know what, man? My favorite season of this show of Ninjago has and at this point will always be Possession. I really like season 5. Season 5 is really well done. Like I was saying, you can do amazing things if you have just a really really great premiere and a really great final episode. The premiere for like the season premiere for season 5 is hands down the best the show has ever done. The best season finale or season premiere for any season of that show. So I just really like the character dynamics and how we play around with different things and how the intensity of the stakes It's just really well done. I just love it. Skybound's really good. I really love the deconstruction of Jay's character, but I don't think that Nadakon is that good. He starts out interesting, but then I think we kind of drop the ball later. And you know what, man? The more I keep thinking about it, I think the most perfect season of Ninjago was actually season 5 or season 4, sorry. Tournament of Elements is just the most well put together out of all of them. It's got a really good villain, all the characters get something to do. It's just really well balanced in a way that the show hasn't consistently been. Like, yes, the stuff with Zane doesn't really go anywhere, but at least it's something. At least he's got Pixel in his head for a little bit. Uh, Thoughts on Once a Ranger? It's really cool to see the veterans. Not much else I like about that show or about that episode or those episodes, I should say. Um, I think it's weird that you have these veteran Rangers coming back and they're still piloting the Overdrive Zords. I'm sure Adam doesn't give a shit because he was around when they were constantly changing Zords. But I just think it's weird. It's weird to go into those cockpits and see those suits. Um, that said, I think Adam Park is really well done in that episode. Those episodes, sorry. Um, Again, something we don't do nearly enough with. Maybe they'll bring it back up when we talk about or when they actually do the 30-year anniversary episode. My favorite part of Skybound is the ending. I love the ending. Skybound's ending is really good. It's just, it's very, for lack of a better word, it's very romantic. It's just the near death sequence and the time travel going back in time, like Jumanji, um, and the hug they give each other right at the end is just really nice. The fight was cool. It was. The roll call is really awesome. Disney did a really good job with all of the roll calls for all of their shows. Also, Klaus is still out there. That's true. I don't know. I maybe he comes back. I don't know. I've been thinking about finishing it just because it's on Netflix. Like it's right there. I could just watch it, but I don't know. I got through 15 episodes of season 11, and I was just like, I don't really know what's happening here. Like, I got to the point where they teleported to the dark dimension, and there was like this ice guy, emperor person. Speaking of which, along with my fancy new webcam, I also got a new set for Ninjago. I got the Supersonic Raider Legacy set. So super excited to build that one. It annoys me that Zane's Falcon completely disappears after season 8, and Elemental Dragons and Airjitsu completely disappear after season 7. Yeah, it is unfortunately just a thing that Ninjago does because they're not sure. Like, the Hagemans talked about this in the interview with Brent Miller. They have no idea when the show's ending. So they just write the show like it's ending. And then if they get another season, cool. And they just move on. Which is why I thought it was weird that season 8 and season 9 are like connected. They're like follow right into another. Like there's a huge cliffhanger at the end of season 8 that leads right into season 9. Especially with Adam versus Thrax and Xandar, Dax, and Will versus the Fear Cats. Xander is an underrated character. By himself, he's actually pretty entertaining. Playing Xander. You gotta love it. I think he's my favorite out of all of the Mystic Rangers. So they did a good job in bringing him back. Man, we've been going on for an hour here. What time is it? Oh goodness, it's 10. Or maybe it is 10. Let's see. Thoughts on the Sentinel Knights? Again, it's just it's an okay. He's an okay character. He's kind of a Deus Ex Machina to like undo a lot of the stuff that happens in the show. Really kind of ruins the Rangers actually trying to learn and help themselves. We actually find out what happens to Klaus in the Dark Island trilogy. It's a series of NinjaGo graphic novels that were confirmed to be canon. Ooh, graphic novels. That's fun. But yeah, Sentinel Knights. I mean, I guess I would have liked it more if he wasn't like a robot guy when he was in action. You know. I also hate the Battleizer. The Max Battleizer that he gets. It's I don't know. It doesn't look good to me. I think the gold on the red looks more McDonald's than it does Tony Stark. You know. That's just my thought on it. What's your least favorite season in Ninjago? Right now, it's season 2. The first half of season 2 is the most Power Rangers this show ever gets, where it's just kind of like really episodic episodes, and they've got the mega weapon that Garmadon can do anything with. It's just all over the place up until we get to the island and the story starts to focus up. It's really bad. So yeah, worst season of that show by far is the second season. Andros with muscles, yeah, which doesn't look admittedly as goofy as Xander with muscles. Sorry, I keep saying Xandar because Xander with muscles looks way more cartoonish, and part of that is because in the actual sequence he literally looks like armor for Andros. Trust me, season 15 is so much worse. Kind of making me curious. I mean, aren't there like 30 episodes per season for Ninjago? Not the Masters of Spinjitzu. And that's the thing that annoyed me so much about the Mark of the Owner. Like, not was I really confused about like the ending or the whole dream sequence between Lloyd and the first Spinjitzu Master. It was really it was just I have no idea what's going on. He's like, you can come with me and live in paradise, or you can stay with your friends. And I'm like, okay, what? And then they just paint a wall and the show's over. And I'm like, okay, why? Why couldn't this have just been we move right into uh season 11? Is it because the whole show just restructures? We take away all the character muscles and shorten the episodes to 11 minutes so we can watch as Zane, Nia, and I think it's Kai fumble around a secret clubhouse for 10 minutes. Like, did we really need that? God, I'm sorry. Season 11 really annoyed me. Uh, I thought it would be better if Robo Knight became the Silver Megaforce. You know what, man? You could do it either way. He either becomes the Silver Guy and it's just a new suit, which would be cool. We would do that much later with Steel. Just put a big robot guy in a suit. That would be nice. Or you could do it the other way. Because what I thought should happen is that it's not Robo Knight. He dreams that it's Robo Knight, but that's because Orion uses the key. Which makes that way like much darker of a scene. Because you think you're going into battle with this like hardened robot friend warrior. And no, it's the other guy because he's got a key that he got from Robo Knight. Like, if he's going to give you the key, just use the key. Now I'm getting all excited. Who's your favorite villain? Uh, you know, I really like Morrow. I think that his whole character dynamic with like how he wants to be Lloyd, which is why he possesses him, and he wants vengeance on Wu, which is again why he possesses Lloyd, and he's trying to turn uh, Kai over to the dark side. It's really great stuff, man. Garmadon, though, the performance is really good. It's just the conflict of I have a compulsion to be evil because of this venom, but I really don't want to fight my son is really great, and it's just straight up Star Wars. But even when he comes back and is like super evil bad guy, and he is Darth Vader, just force choking people out. It's just really great. So I think Garmadon might actually be my favorite villain. Pythor is fun, but he's more of like a lackey after the first season. After the first two seasons rather, he becomes more of a lackey guy instead of like a main bad guy villain dude. I did like the stuff that they did in Tournament of Elements with Pythor, just having him like be or meet the elders of the Anachondri, because people don't mention how he's introduced as a character that cannibalized the rest of his race. Like, that's insane, and people just don't bring that up. I think that's so wild. Also, in Megaforce, Robo Knight gave his blaster to Troy, but when he came back evil, he somehow got the blaster. You know what, man? Rock is really cunning. He either had Metal Alice make him a blaster, or he had some kind of mystical card that teleported the blaster into his hand. It's a flimsy explanation, but at least it's an explanation. Pythor completely disappeared from the show after Day of the Departed. He was gone from the show for a full 7 seasons, only to come back in season 15, where he literally did nothing. That sucks. That is very, very unfortunate. Because I thought his turncoat thing in Day of the Departed was really weird. He has this like emotional moment with the Elders of the Anachondri, and he decides to not try to kill the ninja anymore. But then as soon as he gets an opportunity, he's just, I'm all villain guy because we got to do a villain reunion thing. And it's Morrow who turns out to be the undercover guy, which I think is really cool, but I think you could have also had that with Pythor. Why do you think Jake Ranger Key was green? See, now you're putting me on the spot, and now I got to think of a simple explanation. Because what do we have? We have the first team, no Green Ranger. And the next team is Green Ranger. And the next team, no Green Ranger. Maybe it has something to do with the mystics or mystical elements. Because, and this is, I'm just making this up right now, but Rita created the original green coin. In canon, that is what it is. I know there are some things that are like, oh, she stole it or she found it or whatever. She made that thing. The next Green Ranger we see Is Zeo green for Adam? Comes from a mystical element, the Zeo crystal. Whoa. And then the Rangers make their own Zords for the turbo powers, so it would make sense that they would still be green because Adam made it. Now, the next one we get that, Damon. Again, we got the sword, mystic art thing. So maybe, green is just an ancient color. And because um, Gosei is an ancient being, he just made a green key for a super power up. That's my explanation. I always thought the reason was that because black and green were interchangeable. I mean, that's the show reason, but I was trying to go for more canon reason. Personally, I never saw the way Pythor acted in season 4 as a redemption. He literally says that he's only helping the ninja because if anyone is going to destroy Ninjago, it's going to be him. That's true, but that's also before like that hugely because I think something happened because it was a huge emotional moment, and I get it because Garmadon went up into the sky and Lloyd was super broken up about it because abandonment issues. But I think that like if you see that right, it has to change you. So and you know it had to change him enough that he could just walk around. Then again, the Ninjago population is really stupid. So if they saw him helping Ninja, they might be like, he's okay, and just let him walk around. So he might not have changed his attitude. What do you think happened to Gosei and Tensu? Uh I mean, it's tough because we never see those characters, right? It would be really easy for them to be like Gosei and Tensu are going back into hibernation because the Earth is no longer in danger. It's mostly just cities now. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just that oh the Morphin Grid's being attacked, or oh Ninja Steel is just focusing on trying to attack this one city. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe you need a global catastrophe to have Gosei be awakened. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because Gosei didn't wake up during the whole Dark Spectre hostile takeover. But Zordon did die at the end of that. So maybe that was the trigger. He was like, in case I go down in battle, you will become the new guardian of the earth. But you have to wait until like the entire earth is being under, attack. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe because there's no longer a global whatever that he just was like, keep your powers, Rangers. I'm going to sleep, and that was it. Do you think that Orion came back to Andrasia? I mean, sure, I do. I have no idea why he wouldn't do that. Because, like, was it just that he missed them? Is that why he went back to Earth? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Super Mega Force, which I think is worse than Mega Force, but it's still worth watching. Rock is Back is really good. But yeah, he wanted. Yeah, no, he did say he wanted to rebuild. I have no idea how you do that by yourself. Like unless he was like, maybe there's some people in caves somewhere. That would have been my first go. Like if you're gonna be in a huge battle with legendary rangers, like I would just walk right up to Cassie and TJ and be like, "Hey, I could use your help trying to rebuild this civilization on this one planet." So maybe that's what he did. Sentai 6. A a lot of planets in the Power Rangers universe. Best Tommy moment. Whoo boy. There's a lot of really great ones. My first favorite, of course, is the return of an old friend. That is just fantastic. It's a great return for that kind of character. And the fact like he's all down and out, then he powers up to just beat up everybody else. I love that. I still love that. Um, and of course, the Black Ranger morph sequence. It was just cool to see him back in a suit. Um, and then you got the Master Morpher sequence, which is just one of the coolest things that you'll ever see in the rest of this show. It's insane. Like, I can't believe it just goes through them. And I completely buy that Noah made that shit for. Like, when Noah made the Master Morpher with the technology that he had with the Ranger keys. There's no way that he didn't do that. Otherwise, why would there be a Master Morpher? Uh, Thoughts on Justin? Justin's okay. Uh, it's funny. My issue with Justin is that he's around these battle tested Rangers through the first half of Turbo. It made no sense for this 12-year-old kid to be hanging out with these, by the time Turbo starts, fully grown adults. You know what, man? I really hope so. Because I just think it's a natural progression. Like, if you're gonna do stuff like that, you should bring characters back, right? And he still has his powers. We saw that. Like, that would be really cool. I say do the same thing with Frank. I know Frank isn't canon, but still, bring them back. If you're gonna have kids, just bring them back as adults. It's fine. Put more effort into it than you did Sam. We're going over an hour here. What do you think happened to Scorpina? Didn't she die? Is it? Oh no, I might be thinking of Zyuranger. Because she came back, right? Like, she came back in like season 3 or whatever. It was like a one-off. They brought her back for like one sequence. She went the same place Goldar went. She's dead. Goldar Maximus. It's really weird. Because it just doesn't sound like Goldar at all. And I get that Goldar doesn't sound like Goldar by the end of the show either, but still. Samurai. Looks good. I wish it was acted better. Or written better. A huge problem with that show, and it's a problem that really just stuck around for the Neo Saban era, is that just a lot of this. I don't know if it's the writing or if it's the direction, but a lot of these like characterizations are just really, really bland. They're not engaging. They're not even like bad. Well, I mean, some of them are bad. Like Kevin is really bad. Emily is really bad. Uh, Mia also really bad. Jaden is helped by having a story and having something to do, but the only character that's really entertaining to watch is Mike. I I don't like I don't like Samurai Gold. Antonio, I just think it's weird. The suit is not appealing. I don't like it. I don't like his voice. I find it annoying. it made a rock band out of nowhere, and then we just used that stock footage for Megaforce. It was just bizarre. The whole thing was weird. But yeah, Samurai. It's weird because I think those morphers are really cool. You just draw in midair, man. They look really awesome. Uh, Lauren's got a brush, like an actual brush, from her father that died in action. Like that show could have ended, man. But at the end of the day, it's brought down by some just weak characterizations. Weak characterizations and weak performances, which might be down to direction. I have no idea. Um, but yeah, the Sixth Ranger, which is usually the thing to like give any season of Power Rangers like a boost, it just doesn't work for me at all. Ziggy, I like Ziggy. Ziggy's fun. I do like that his becoming a ranger is a complete accident. It's like if you gave Skulovich a morpher. It's just great. Which I've seen in the comics a lot of people want to see happen. I see fan art. Maybe it's fan art. Maybe it's actual comics. I have no idea. But I also thought that was a huge. That was a weird thing too. That they brought Jason Narvi back so we can have a moment with Paul Schreier, and that was fun. That was really cool. I don't think Spike works, honestly. Paul Schreier's doing what he can, but I don't think it works that well. Saddest moment in Power Rangers. Kendrick's death is really rough, man. It's really rough. Because at that point, you just don't see stuff like that. It's crazy to me that they actually went through with something like because at least with Robo Knight's death, before you get to the end, there's like some speculation maybe he got out or whatever. He's obviously going to be in the flashback. Maybe he did get out. And they don't get any confirmation until his Ranger key just goes. Bjoo. Magna Defender's death was really good too. There's a lot of tragic moments in Lost Galaxy. You got Sika's death, and then the Magna Defender's death, and Scorpius's death. It's all just really sad. And it's crazy because some of that stuff is not in the Sentai. They just kill people because they can. Like the only one is Mike. They had to do the Kendricks thing, which was nuts. But yeah, no, I agree that one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. I like the Magna Defender one. He's just walking through with the flower, but he sees walking through with his son. It's very good. It's very good stuff. I'll agree with you on that. Magna Defender's death, the saddest moment in Power Rangers. What was the saddest moment before that? Was it Corone's or abduction, or her cybernetic enhancements? Because admittedly, that stuff wasn't too tragic. What do you think on why the Rangers never bleed? I mean, there's an argument to be made that they have just. Why? That's not true, actually. They bleed, just not in the suits. Because there's like blood all over Time Force. And I think. Didn't Lost Galaxy also have blood? So, yeah, they bleed. I think in the suits it's easier because it's like it doesn't look it, but it is a shield just surrounding your body. It's like the grid, but the suit just comes after. Yes, Super Sentai does bleed a lot, but that's because they don't care. They're trying to tell the story. They don't really care whether or not they scar some children. Right. Hey, I got a like. Haha. Glad people are enjoying this. We'll see how much longer we can go. Get more people in here. Might do this actually. Might do this every Saturday. What is this? Dumbest person in Power Rangers. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Dumbest person. That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure. You, who would be the dumbest? Hmm. Who would be the dumbest? We're going through the whole gambit. Maybe it's Elgar. Actually, no, that's not true. We can give it to Norg. Norg's an idiot, and that's part of the reason I don't like him. Just an annoying idiot. And I get it, man. Kelson Henderson's doing a great job. I just don't like it. So Norg, you gotta give it to him. Norg. In Lightspeed, there's a woman who says there's no such thing as monsters. Yeah, I do remember that. I almost said her, but I was like, no, I shouldn't do that. Because it should be just an established character, not just a one off person that they invented for this play. It's so weird. The whole thing is weird. Who helps that kid out anyway? I can't remember. Is it Carter? Is it Carter? He's the one that goes up to the boy and is like, I believe you. Ah, I was right. It was Carter. Carter Grayson. Pretty good Red Ranger, if I'm being honest. He just went through fire. It was awesome. Thoughts on Clash of the Red Rangers? It's better than it should be. With how dumb a lot of the stuff was, particularly with not incorporating RPM at all outside of the Red Ranger, it's still fun. I think it's really cool to see them fight each other and then take out the villains while they're fighting each other. Plus, it's good to get Scott back into the fold. The problem with RPM is that it's so apocalyptic that they can't ever reference that show. They've done it twice now. It was better than the Poise show because Scott got to do something. I liked the Poise show mostly because I like Poisandra and Sledge doing anything. It was just entertaining. It's literally like just a more fun Lord Zed and Rita. Not that Lord Zed and Rita are bad. I just think that there's more moments of comedy between Sledge and Poisandra. So the Poise show is fun. Coda didn't really do anything. Uh, sure, but I mean it was cool. You got the brothers on screen together. Sidarsos. They probably loved working together. I mean they did it multiple times, so there's no way they didn't. It's such a weird character, though. He does a really good job, Coda. But it's such a weird character to just do by himself because caveman. Did you still think the Ninja Steel Rangers got trampled by mammoths? um, God, do we don't ever see those guys again, do we? They didn't come back. Maybe, maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't survive. Ugh, God, there was so much wrong with that show. I don't think that. I don't think that um, Chip Lynn enjoyed writing that show. Honest to God, I don't think he did. So yeah, maybe, because I don't think we'll ever see those characters again. Who would you even bring back? Maybe you bring back Peter because he's got charisma. Like, who would I want to see back? Actually, I don't think there's anybody I want to see. Brody and Lydian. Oh, Leave Aiden. That's right. What a missed opportunity that was. Why in the hell would you just go through again? It's the Robonite thing. Why would you go through so much trouble of these guys are brothers and you don't ever like we don't do anything with that. Like after the reveal, they're just people. It's so strange to me. Admittedly, if they came back together and they were like doing brother stuff, like you could have a sibling team up. Honestly, at this point, you had a couple of Ranger siblings. You got Mike and Leo, got V and Maddie. Uh, Nate and Steel are much better brothers. That's a good point. You could put in Nate and Steel. Yeah, that's really good actually. That's a very good point. That's what I want. Give me my brother Power Ranger crossover. Just all of the ones who are siblings, just mash them together, and we'll see what happens. You have two Jungle Fury Rangers. Forever Red Part 2. Yeah. That'd be really fun. I don't think they're ever going to do anything like that again. It's so weird to me. Because Forever, that's kind of what encapsulates Forever Red. It's just like a thing that you will never see again. Just we'll take a bunch of Red Rangers and stick them in a room and just it'll be cool. That was part of the reason I was super excited about Super Mega Force. Like, if you can do stuff like that, then we can see crazy team like just all blue, all pink. And I know they do that stuff in Gokaiger. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Yes, that is true. Well, I mean, you have uh, you have Rocky in the 30th anniversary, mostly because they couldn't get Austin St. John, but still, I know it's rough, man. I'm very I'm I'm interested to know how they're gonna if they're even gonna bring that up in the 30-year anniversary. Because you know what's funny? I did watch. I think it was during Time Ranger. They have this like anniversary special where they just bring back a bunch of different like Sentai Rangers, and there's a sequence where literally a Red Ranger is at the gravesite of the rest of his team. And I'm just like, wow, like what? This is insane. Maybe I mean, they did the same thing with Riley and Shelby when they came back. Whatever happened to now you got me thinking, what happened to Ninja Steel? I don't think we'll ever see those guys again. Chip Lane is way more interested in bringing back elements of Dino Charge than he is in doing anything with Ninja Steel. I mean, didn't they also do that with the Red Alien Ranger? He was just morphed. I think they did that with Danny Slavin also as Leo. Do you think we'll ever see Trey again? Oh, no, no. Not again. Not after he went nuts on social media. Trey of Triforia. Because those powers are gone, aren't they? Oh, no, no. That's right. Jason gave those powers back to Trey. That's right. So maybe we can see the Gold Ranger again. If that suit still exists. Ninja Storm Rangers again, besides Shane. Uh, yeah. I mean, in that scenario, would you just make Hunter the lead? If you need because you just have a red guy there, or would you do something? Oh, I guess in that scenario, Cam would be the leader. That would be my guess. Cam is the leader of the show. If you bring back the Ninja Storm Rangers. Dino Fury. Yes, I am worried. Gonna be checking out that show here pretty soon. To save time, I'm not going to be doing reviews of that show. I'm mostly just going to be doing reactions, just so I can get through it for the next season. That'll probably premiere on Netflix, and will be crazy and cool and weird, and we'll see what happens. But I am very, very, very concerned because I just hear things. One thing that I heard about Dino Fury was that the cast is really entertaining, but there's no plot. And I know they do the thing where they bring Lord Zed back. I'm sure they're going to use the reanimizer for that. They're just going to bring that back into the fold. That seems really weird to do, especially after Robert Axelrod died recently. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay. I'm mostly just hoping because I heard that the spoilers. I heard that the Beast Morphers finale was bad also. But you know what? I enjoyed that. So maybe. Dino Fury's first show on Netflix to have an audio description. Is that right? I didn't know that. What is the description? Now I'm curious. What is the description? Does it say is it like the voiceovers that we got in Megaforce and Samurai? Just in a world where there's Rangers and there's monsters, they fight each other. Power Rangers. All right. Well, this was fun, man. Fun fact: Dr. K and Ziggy actors were married. Yes, I did hear about that. Uh, Sadly, I also heard that they got divorced. Um, but I mean, we got Dr. K came back for Beast Morphers a couple times actually. That was insane. I can't believe like I was sitting there like not it's so weird to just be blindsided by something like that. That's another thing. Even though they live in New Zealand, I highly doubt we'll ever see any of the actors from RPM ever again. I know we've seen like Scott kinda, and we've seen Gemma and Dr. K, but I don't think we're gonna see Dylan or Summer or Ziggy in that show. You think they wasted Brody's dad? Yes, they did. Yes, yes, 115% yes. I said in the episode review for season 2, in the first episode, that we weren't going to see that guy again until the finale, and guess what? We didn't see him again until the finale. So they absolutely wasted that character. Yes, I'm Scottish. We're not going to see him again either. It'd be crazy, man. They bring Finn back or Flynn back. You could do a sequel to that show. Just use different suits. I don't know what suits you would do. Honestly, like if I had my way, that's how you would do. That's how you would adapt Go Busters. Just do that, but in the RPM universe. Because I think people really want to see what happened. I mean, granted, we know what happened now, but I think people really wanted to see what happened. Backstory was really dumb. That's true, but again, Disney on a television budget with uh, 4 kids trying to survive the apocalypse. Like somebody had to have like a not so tragic backstory. You got Scott's brother died in combat, and Summer's butler horrifically was killed. Dylan was separated from his sister and has like no memory. It's crazy. Ziggy was part of the mob. Like you need to have somebody with a fun backstory. Dr. K's whole thing is just tragic. That is actually one of the saddest moments. Not sadder than the Magna Defender, but still. He got suspended for 2 weeks when he was being bullied. Yeah, it was weird. Uh, Admittedly, with all of that other stuff, maybe you could have. I don't know how you would do it though. Just have a Scottish guy, because didn't he wear like Braveheart paint at one point? Ah, so it's fun. Right. I think we are nearing the hour and 44-minute mark. This was fun, man. I might actually do more of these because this was a lot of fun. I did enjoy just talking to people. Who do you think would win in an all out Ranger fight? You know what, man? There's a lot of really good choices. I said that in a one on one fight, I actually don't think that Tommy would survive a fight against RJ. I just think that guy is too skilled at the combat. But then you got Shadow, who literally took out 100 people. So who with? You got Ninja Steel with their overpowered blasters. Um, you got the Time Force Rangers who literally just fight people. It's crazy. The stunt work that's done in Time Force and also in Lightspeed is really great. You know what? I'll throw Lost Galaxy in there too. The current SPD Blue Ranger is a girl. Oh. The Green Ranger is Tommy's son. Oh yeah? Then like comics? Is that in comics? Yeah, I think you go with Shadow, honestly. I think in an all out brawl, I think you go with Shadow. He's just really cunning with a sword, take out most people. It's really great. I have not watched Hyperforce. I did try, it just wasn't for me. I'm not a big RPG guy. Uh, so it just wasn't my type of thing. I don't I have never been like one to do the RPG thing, so sadly skipped out on that one. I did try to watch it. I just think it thought it was weird. Not for me. Not for me. What about the Samurai Rangers who have fought for many years? I mean, those guys are dead, aren't they? So maybe they won't survive. It's tough, man. I don't think that any of the Samurai Rangers are particularly skilled at the fight sequences. There wasn't like a really good one. It's not like we got in Megaforce with or in Super Megaforce um with Noah taking on that one guy and just a huge massive action sequence that's really impressive. Noah would be pretty good. He stepped up to everybody. He'd be pretty good in a fight. But would he be able to beat everyone? Ooh, I'm not sure. Of course, you can't count out Lily. Lily, I think pound for pound is the best fighter on Jungle Fury, so she's probably the better. Again, doing the graps. Overnight would last for a long time. That's true. But he can turn into a Zord and just destroy people. So he'd hold up pretty well. I think if Tyler Navarro ever got if we could use battleizers and he got the supercharge mode, like that would be cool. I think that he's got the power of a Megazord. Like that, it would just take out like most people. Oh yeah, Trent got a really cool suit. Does Trent? So yeah, I think maybe Tyler would actually have the edge on would be able to take down Robo Knight with the with his battle laser. It's actually a good point. If all of the Red Rangers have access to their battle lasers, this fight becomes really well or really much harder, much harder. Is that true? He beat all the Thunders, both of the Thunders. I didn't know that. It's been a while. I did I did rewatch a few episodes of Dino Thunder after Jason David Frank passed away. I just wanted to, and it was interesting. It's a really good show, you know. I think that show does better with the pure Power Rangers teenagers with attitude concept than anybody else. But it's still not my favorite. There was an episode of Dino Thunder where they watched Super Sentai. Yes, I do remember the Lost in Translation episode. I'm actually really curious to watch Abo Ranger after that. But I gotta get through Hurricane first, which I've only watched one episode of, and it wasn't particularly impressive. It was just very much like Ninja Steel or Ninja Storm. We're gonna school tonight. Mystic Rangers have magic on their side. That's true, and they can transform into Megazords. Spell codes, man. It's really awesome. Tommy's got the Master Morpher. He would hold up pretty well. I don't know, man. The thing with Ninja Storm, those fight sequences were never as impressive as I thought they should be. Jungle Fury has really. Jungle Fury has the best fight sequence in the entire show. It's insane how good the final battle between Jared and Casey is. It's like a Mortal Kombat fight, and I love it. That's like I wanted that stuff. Give me that stuff in a ninja show. And we just never, I don't know why we never do it. We also included their vehicles. And then you go into the question of who's got the better Megazord. I mean, the SPD headquarters Megazord is just massive. Then again, you got the Super Train, which is also massive. Does anybody still have Serpentera? They can still take them out. I love how we got an hour, almost 2 hours into this, and now we're getting to the who would win in a fight. Because if you watch my last live stream, that's all we talked about for like a good majority. Who would win in a fight? We also included their vehicles. Samurai can make whole boulders, cars, and horses. This is true. But I mean, can't Ravi also make boulders? Just a thing that people can do? Rock Crush. Who's got the most devastating attack now? I gotta think about that. Sir Ivan, he lasts a pretty good while. There's Thor, thunder striking people around. Be awesome. Jaden with the chainsaw. Yeah, that's true. The Fire Smasher is massive. But it's also like cumbersome. Like you can't move it around too well. So I think that if you have I think that RJ would be pretty good to disarm him. Megaforce Rangers can transform into anything they want. Is that true? They can transform into things? I don't remember that. Oh, are you talking about the with the Ranger keys? That's a good point. If they can just do that, that's the Ben 10 argument, right? Like who would so if Noah has like all the Ranger keys, then he's winning. He's just beating everyone. Like who cares? Uh yeah, no, absolutely. So yes, if armed with Ranger keys, Noah wins all fights. He will just destroy everybody in an all-out brawl because he can. Uh, is that true? Max has bull change powers. Like I said, I can't remember a whole lot about Wild Force. Oh no, that's Danny is the bull. I still think like again, if we're throwing the Ranger keys in here, then yes, I think that in an all in all fight, Noah wins everything. He just wins. He knows how to survive. It's crazy. And he's determined. Who cares? It's going to be insane. You can't take on that guy. He's got everything. Yes, Jaden can use Shogun. But again, it's really bulky. Jaden's not built for speed, man. Oh, you know that would be cool if Noah just changes to a Blue Centurion. That'd be a cool fight. Connor can use Battleizer? Yes. The extendo arms and legs absolutely could help him in a fight. He'd be given a good run once over. I mean, Ultra mode's not anything to sneeze at either as an idea or as a Battleizer. So I mean, maybe. Plus, like, doesn't Connor need like the energy of the other two to even activate his Battleizer? And if it's an all-out brawl, why would they give it to him? Dino Thunder Yellow and Yellow Wild Force are just gonna have a sky battle. That would be pretty cool, actually. I would really enjoy to see that. We got other birds. Who else can fly in this show? I know that Mega Force has, or sorry, Mystic Force has capes. Can they fly? They got witches' brooms, kind of. Antonio has super speed. Is that right? Oh, that's right, because he can do the quick slash stuff. I'm seriously though, like if he got a good matchup, and Noah's the type of guy he would absolutely like if he's got enough prep time, he would absolutely know which Ranger key to use where against who. So he would absolutely win that fight against anybody. It does not matter at that point. That is Noah's villain origin story. Just takes all the Ranger keys with him. What about the Ninja Steel Rangers? I mean, out of all of them, Brody's the only one that is any kind of close to being impressive in a fight. But I think you can easily distract him. Just go look over there. It's a tree, and he'd be like, "What?" And then you just take him out. The Spirit Rangers. That would be fun. With the Spirit Rangers. See, that's another one that would be really cool if Noah could just morph into the Spirit of the Shark Ranger because it's also blue. But actually, and that's true because he does have the Spirit of the Shark based on that one episode of Megaforce with where Casey comes back, talks about animal spirits. So absolutely, he would just totally just boss everyone. I don't know if Sam would lose. It depends on. He might do the like Shazam thing where he just morphs to escape because he's just a ball of light that can go around. He wouldn't be able to hurt anybody, but he could just go around. Trains could overpower him. That's true. Trent with his super diner mode could be pretty fun. The RPM Rangers. I will admit, Dylan's got a pretty decent shot with his cybernetics. But again, like I think there's ways you can fight that. RJ would absolutely take him down. Jaden Black Box and Bull Cannon. Maybe. Maybe if he's got his fun toys. That might be the only thing to stop Noah. Battleizers. Billy would be. Yeah, Billy can hold himself in the. He defeated by a monster by himself. He can absolutely take on anyone. It'd be awesome. Justin depends on what he's been doing for the past 20 years. I think is it 16? No, no, it's like 20, 26. But I mean, it depends on which one you're talking about. You talking about Cat Manx? Yeah, she probably wouldn't last too long. You talking about Catherine Hillard? Yeah, she might not last too long either. So either one, honestly. This is true. Cat does not have weapons as a ranger. All right. Well, this. Let's see the cat ranger. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Sorry, there's two cats, so I just wanted to make sure. What about Mystic Mother? Ooh, that's a good. I don't. It's tough because I'm not sure. I don't know how much power she has. I don't know how much, like, if her memory's even intact. That whole thing is really just complicated. All right. Well, this was fun, man. I think I'm going to end this here. Been gone for 2 hours. This was a great, fun time. Might do this more. Just kind of depends on when. But yeah, no, this was fun. I had a good time. Glad people are enjoying this. Zane from In Space. No, Zane, not a lot in terms of action sequence, but either way, this is fun, guys. If you want to see any more, be sure to leave a like on this video. Probably do another one of these here pretty soon. We'll see. They don't take a whole lot of time. Plus, if you just want to hear my thoughts on certain things, just ask. Honestly, just ask. Might do this next week. We'll see how it goes. Bye. Let's see. There we go.